Most people think of a nickel as nothing more than 5 cents, a small coin that slips through our hands without a second thought. But what if I told you that some Jefferson nickels still floating around in circulation today are worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars? These coins are not just pieces of change. They are hidden treasures with stories carved into their metal. The Jefferson nickel has been in our pockets since 1938, quietly witnessing history as America changed through wars, economic struggles, and modern times. Within this long journey, a few rare editions slipped into circulation, some struck with minting errors, others created during wartime with secret metal compositions, and a few that are simply so rare that collectors will pay a fortune just to own one. What makes it exciting is that these valuable nickels don't sit locked away in museums or behind glass cases. They're out there, mixed with ordinary coins, waiting for sharp eyes and a bit of luck to uncover them. Imagine finding a nickel that looks completely ordinary. Yet in the world of collectors, it could be the difference between pocket change and a hidden jackpot. In today's video, we're going to dive deep into the 5 most valuable Jefferson nickels you could still find in circulation. From mysterious wartime strikes to legendary minting errors, these are the nickels that transform a simple 5 cents into a collector's dream. Now let's talk about one of the most surprising Jefferson nickels, the 1964 no mint mark nickel. At first glance, it looks like ordinary pocket change, but it carries a fascinating story. In 1964, America was facing a serious coin shortage. To fix it, the mint struck more nickels than ever before, over 1 billion pieces. Philadelphia coins carried no mint mark, which is why so many 1964 nickels appear plain. With numbers that high, most people assume they're worthless, but that's not the full story. Most 1964 nickels were struck in a hurry, using worn-out dies, which means details like Monticello's, steps on the reverse, are usually weak or completely missing. That's why a sharp high-grade strike showing all the steps, what collectors call full steps nickels, is incredibly rare. A coin like that, even though it's from one of the most common dates, can sell for $500, $1,000, or even $5,000 in the right condition. In the highest known grades, 1964 full step nickels without mint marks have crossed the $8,000 mark at auction. But the story doesn't stop there. Because of the massive production rush, the year 1964 also gave birth to some spectacular error coins. Doubled dies, off-center strikes, and other minting mistakes are highly collectible. If you find a doubled die example, depending on the strength of the doubling, it could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. And then comes the greatest mystery of all, the 1964 SMS nickel. SMS stands for Special Mint Set, and these coins were never officially released to the public. A handful of 1964 SMS nickels exist, believed to be experimental. Strikes or prototypes made during the transition to the new minting style of 1965-67. They have a satin-like finish, sharper details, and are unlike any ordinary nickel. Because of their extreme rarity, a genuine 1964 SMS nickel can command $20,000 to $40,000, making it one of the ultimate treasures in the Jefferson nickel series. So what does all this mean for you? It means the 1964 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark is not something to ignore. Most are common, yes, but the right example, with strong details, rare errors, or an extremely high grade, could be hiding in plain sight in your pocket change. This coin proves that even in the most overproduced year, true gems can emerge. And that's why collectors around the world keep hunting for it. Now we come to a coin that millions of people have handled without a second thought. The 1975 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark. At first glance, it looks completely ordinary. No mint mark under Monticello, just the date and Jefferson's portrait. But here's the twist. While it may appear common, this coin holds secrets that can transform it from pocket change into a serious collectible. The story begins at the Philadelphia Mint, where all no mint mark nickels of 1975 were struck. Production was massive, with more than 600 million coins released into circulation. That's why most people assume the 1975 nickel has no value beyond 5 cents. But in coin collecting, numbers don't tell the full story. Condition and rarity within the mintage make all the difference. Here's why the 1975 nickel is so fascinating. Almost all of them suffer from weak strikes. The mint was running at full speed, and dies wore out quickly. As a result, the detail on Monticello, especially the staircase, usually looks flat and faded. This is where the hidden value lies. If you find a 1975 Jefferson nickel with full steps, meaning every line of Monticello's staircase is sharp and complete, You found an extremely rare coin? These full-step nickels are so scarce. From this year that collectors will pay big money for them. Even in lower mint state grades, they can bring hundreds of dollars, and in the highest grades, some have sold for $1,000 to $2,500 at auction. But the surprises don't stop there. Because of the heavy production, minting errors are also known from 1975 nickels. Dramatic off-center strikes, double strikes, and even doubled dies exist, and collectors love them. Depending on the type of error, values can soar from $500 to over $3,000. And let's not forget about the global collector market. Jefferson nickels are popular not just in the United States, but also with collectors in the UK, Europe, and even parts of Asia. That demand makes rare varieties like the 1975 full-step nickels even more desirable. So, while the 1975 Jefferson nickel without mint mark might seem like an everyday coin, the truth is it hides treasures in plain sight. A crisp strike, a rare error, or the elusive full steps can turn this common date into a coin worth thousands. It's a reminder that every nickel has the potential to be a jackpot, if you know what to look for. Now let's talk about a coin that many people believe is just modern pocket change. The 1994 Jefferson nickel with the D mint mark. At first glance, it doesn't look rare. It's from the 1990s, a time when billions of coins were being produced. But here's the secret. Even newer coins like this one can hide serious collector value, especially when we look at condition, strike quality, and minting errors. The Denver Mint struck over 1.1 billion nickels in 1994, a huge number. Because of that, most people assume these coins aren't worth saving. But in coin collecting, it's never just about how many were made. It's about how many survive in perfect condition. That's where the value of the 1994 D begins to shine. Most coins from this mintage entered circulation quickly and picked up scratches, dings, and wear. Finding one straight from the mint in pristine condition is much harder than people think. In average condition, the 1994 D Jefferson nickel is worth face value, but in high mint state grades, especially, or better, collectors have paid hundreds of dollars. The record auction sales for the finest examples have pushed near 1,000, proving that modern nickels can bring serious money if preserved. But the real magic of the 1994 D Jefferson nickel comes from errors and varieties. Because of the huge mintage, mistakes happened. Collectors have reported examples with off-center strikes, double dies on the date and lettering, and even clipped planchets. These types of dramatic errors can transform a 5-cent coin into one worth $500 to over $2,500, depending on rarity and condition. Another area of collector focus is the full steps variety. Just like with earlier nickels, the Monticello steps are often weak. But if you find a 1994 D with crisp, full steps, the value jumps significantly. These are much scarcer than most people realize, and they're highly desirable for Jefferson nickel specialists. Beyond the US, collectors in Europe, the UK, and even Asia chase these newer issues because they're part of completing modern US coin sets. That extra demand means the finest 1994 D. Nickels are not only valuable, but also increasingly difficult to find. So what looks like just another coin from the 1990s can actually be a hidden gem. A perfect strike, a dramatic mint error, or the elusive full steps designation can make the 1994 D Jefferson nickel worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. It's a reminder to never overlook your modern change, or because the treasures of tomorrow are already hiding in today's pockets. Now let's talk about a coin so recent that most people laugh at the idea it could be worth anything more than 5 cents. The 2019 Jefferson nickel with the P mint mark from the Philadelphia Mint. But here's the shocking truth. This modern coin has already carved out a reputation as a hidden treasure in the world of numismatics. Over 700 million nickels were struck at Philadelphia in 2019. With numbers that massive, it's easy to think none could possibly be rare. But rarity isn't always about mintage. It's about survival in perfection. And that's exactly where the 2019 P nickel surprises collectors. Philadelphia coins are infamous for weak strikes and poor detail. Monticello's steps on the reverse almost always look mushy and incomplete. That's why the handful of nickels from 2019 P that come with full steps designation are considered true rarities. Collectors will pay hundreds of dollars for them, and at the top end, these coins have sold for well over $1,000 at auction. Think about that. A 5-cent coin barely a few years old, turning into a 4-figure prize simply because of strike sharpness. But that's not all. The 2019 P has also become known for its dramatic mint errors. Off-center strikes, double strikes, die clashes, and clipped planchets have all been discovered. Each of these transforms an ordinary coin into something extraordinary. Some error 2019 P. Nickels have already fetched 2,000 to 3,000, proving that even modern coins can bring in the kind of money you usually associate with vintage rarities. And let's not forget condition rarity. In lower grades, the coin is everywhere. But in the top grades, MS67, MS68, and beyond, it becomes a modern miracle. Collectors across the US, Europe, and Asia compete fiercely for them, driving values far higher than anyone expected just a few years ago. The lesson of the 2019 P. Jefferson Nickel is crystal clear. Never underestimate modern change. Hidden among billions of ordinary nickels are a few extraordinary survivors, flawless strikes, dramatic errors, and those elusive, full steps that can make a coin worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. So the next time you hold a shiny 2019 nickel in your hand, look at it closely, because what most people spend without a second thought could actually be one of the most valuable modern nickels in circulation today. And now we come to the 2019 Jefferson nickel with the D mint mark, struck at the Denver Mint. At first glance, it feels far too modern to be anything special. After all, Denver struck over 1 billion nickels in 2019, flooding the market with coins that most people treat as everyday change. But here's the surprise. Inside that massive sea of coins are treasures that can command hundreds or even thousands of dollars. What makes the 2019 D so valuable? It's not about sheer numbers, it's about quality, rarity of condition, and minting mistakes. Most coins struck in Denver in 2019 show average strikes, scuff marks, or wear the moment they enter circulation. But the rare survivors in pristine, gem condition, coins graded MS67 or higher, instantly stand out. Collectors will pay serious money for these high-grade examples, with some selling for $700 to $2,500 at auction. But the real firepower of the 2019 D. Jefferson nickel lies in full steps examples. Monticello's steps are notoriously difficult to find, struck sharply. And when a Denver coin shows complete, perfect steps, it transforms into a rarity. These full steps nickels from 2019 D are already fetching hundreds of dollars, and their value is only expected to climb as more collectors chase modern, full step varieties. And then there are the errors, the kind of dramatic mistakes that make collectors' hearts race. Off-center strikes, double dies, die clashes, and clipped planchets are known to exist for the 2019 D nickel. Depending on the severity and condition, these error coins can sell for $1,000 to $3,000, instantly turning an ordinary pocket find into a collector's jackpot. What makes this story so exciting is that the 2019 D nickel is still in active circulation. That means your viewers could literally pull one from their change today. Imagine buying a coffee with a coin that, if carefully inspected, could actually be worth 1,000 times its face value. That's the thrill of modern numismatics. And the 2019 D. Jefferson nickel is a perfect example of it. So don't dismiss this coin just because it's new. The 2019 D Jefferson nickel proves that even the most recent Denver issues can carry serious hidden value. From high-grade rarities to dramatic errors and elusive full steps, this coin stands as a modern treasure hiding in plain sight. And there you have it. 5. Jefferson nickels that prove a simple 5-cent coin can hide unimaginable value. From the historic issues of the 1960s and 1970s to the overlooked gems of the 1990s, and even the shockingly valuable modern nickels of 2019. Each of these coins tells a story of rarity, errors, perfection, and collector demand. The lesson is simple. Never underestimate the change in your pocket. What looks like an ordinary nickel could actually be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars. All it takes is a sharp eye and a bit of knowledge to uncover these hidden treasures. So the next time you get a Jefferson nickel in your hand, don't just spend it, inspect it carefully, because your 5 cents today could be the jackpot of tomorrow. If you enjoyed this journey into the world of valuable nickels, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss our deep dives into rare and valuable coins. And let me know in the comments, have you ever found a Jefferson nickel worth keeping? Remember, treasures don't just live in museums or auctions. Sometimes they're sitting quietly in your pocket, waiting for you to discover them.